Welcome back
to the Pair of Dinks podcast
at the Warrior Studios.
in Warrior Alley.
If
In Warrior Alley.
Jake's a little stuffed up.
Sorry. If I pronounce things weird today, that's why. And I will correct. Yeah, at Warrior Studios in Warrior Alley.
Haha.
Which is just like our basement.
Yeah, but it's so cool.
It sounds so much more awesome when we...
And when we actually get it all done up, we'll show you. And it'll look even like it'll look cool and you can understand.
Yeah, right now it's got that very modern, chic, under construction look. The not finished basement project look.
No ceiling.
Yeah, it's pretty popular these days. We're just doing what the cool kids do. That's all.
Speaking of, what did you do today?
I worked in the studio.
In your office.
Yeah, in my office in the studio. It's been a good season of like working on location one day a week, maybe, and then spending the rest of the week editing and being at home, sort of like on my own schedule for the couple of projects I got going. So
nice.
But some days you can go kind of stir crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're just at home. And like you go to work, you're there, you wake up there. And then you go home for dinner and like you're already there. You just walk up the stairs to start cooking. I was starting to feel like one of the cats today. You know, just like cooped up looking out the window and like, man,
right.
Man, there's a bird out there.
That fresh air. Yeah. Every time they smell through the window or just a little crack in the door.
Yep. I had the front window cracked open for a little this afternoon and Honey kept wandering over there and like putting her paws up, you know, with her head, trying to sniff out. And
without the screen?
No. The one by the refrigerator.
Gotcha.
Yeah. It was cute.
I know.
It was funny.
She never gets to see on that side.
Sometimes.
Not a good setup. But anyways, so did you go outside then?
Yeah, I had to kill some bugs.
Yeah, the maple bugs were really bad this year.
Yeah. And then I started to see them on the sides of the house and like a couple around the front. So I looked up how to destroy them. And it's just some water and some soap and a little vinegar. And you just spray them. So I sprayed them.
Killer.
Yeah, it works pretty effectively. I'll say, if anyone out there is dealing with a maple bugs, honestly, it's like had them dead in a minute.
Nice.
Yeah, it's crazy. There's a couple more resilient ones. You got to kind of douse them a little more. But
that's awesome.
Oh, man. I never want to be a pest control guy. That sounds like a terrible.
Well, thank you for doing that. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll have to go do it again. They keep coming back. I was talking with the neighbors. They're also dealing with them. So she said they like spray them and then they kind of move around. And so I think it's going to take a little bit of attention.
What day is it?
It's a Tuesday.
What's the date?
The 3rd of October.
Okay, so we are 3 days into Sober October. Now, if anybody remembers, we were attempting to do September, and it just wasn't working out. So here we are.
Yes, day 3.
Yeah, it's going good.
Yeah, we're at the end of it, which is a good sign.
What?
Made it through the day.
Oh, I see. I was like, excuse me, it's the beginning of the month.
Yeah, but it's the end of the day, so that's a positive.
For sure.
One day at a time.
Mm-hmm.
1 hour at a time. That's all there is to it. What's the...
Tell us!
About...
You have a fucking story. What was the whole... Jake, what the hell?
Sorry, I didn't catch the
I've been transition you forever.
Yeah, sorry, I haven't felt it. Right. So I was thinking about that, meaning like what makes me want to have a drink? When do I feel that urge? What are the emotions that come through me? And I kept thinking about when I feel like heaviness to the world. Like everything seems doomy, gloomy. I feel this like pain and sadness in everybody around. Um, and so I kept tracing that back because it's been a really prevalent emotion since since the end of my cancer. Like I felt this heightened sensitivity to just like pain and fear and anxiety all
Mhm.
around. And like the first time I noticed it was going back to the States. I think I've talked about this before on other episodes, how every time I step foot there, everything feels more tense. I get this really uncomfortable energy. And it made me think, oh yeah, that's a reason. Like there's other positive reasons. Like patio time comes around. You're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome to just hang out on a patio, have some drinks. But I was thinking today of the negative ones, right? Or the ones where I'm like, I don't feel good, or I feel like I'm trying to escape something or run away from a feeling or kill it.
Mhm.
And that was the realization today, that when I feel this way about the world and when I see it that way, it makes me want to numb that feeling, get away from it, run away. It's a runaway feeling, not a go toward fun time feeling.
Totally.
Yeah. And so as I was listening to this lady's near death experience, because that's something normal I do in the afternoons, um, she was talking about having that same heightened sensitivity to the world.
After her NDE.
Yeah, like she would go into the grocery store and just feel overwhelmed by the amount of like just anxiety and pain and sadness that she felt in everybody around her. And I had never heard anyone else describe it that way, like that sensation. And like I know we've had this, like I've been out at Superstore with you sometimes, right? And I get kind of short tempered, and I'm like, I gotta get out of here, like just grab the stuff, let's go. And it's because I get that same kind of a feeling wash over me, and this intense sadness looking at the I don't even know how to describe it. Just looks like sad dead things in the store. Where you should be wanting to go and see this fresh, bountiful, rejuvenating food. You look around and all I can see is just like the
Rot.
problems with how this food got here.
Yeah, I know.
I can't see and appreciate whatever is right there. And that I think that has really been a huge shift in my sensitivity to the world that I've noticed since the cancer experience. And I guess I just kind of wanted to talk on that today a little,
Yeah.
because I don't think, like, we did an episode talking about, the chemo experience and getting diagnosed and going through all of that. Um, and I think this, like, post treatment time has been like a whole crazy mix of like emotions and new insights. And I think it's a really overwhelming sensation that not many people talk about much or maybe feel that they can.
Mhm.
I don't know, because some of it's pretty dark, but at
Yeah.
the same time, there's also like the same effect, I guess, on the joy and the happiness and the wonder and awe that you can find in little details. And I've been noticing over the past year that when I have those observations, when I see something really cool, something beautiful, some little detail, or I want to just like stop and look at a blade of grass for a minute, like out of the middle of nowhere. Like I can be out on a walk with a friend or something and just have this urge to be like, I need to leave this conversation and stare at this leaf on the tree.
That sounds like ADHD.
Yeah, maybe. But like, okay, say like you're not leaving the social situation part. Say I'm on my own and I have the freedom to just stop and look at something. Like you see it completely differently with a whole new sense of wonder and awe about how that got there and what it's doing. And then I noticed that the switch happens when sometimes you see something really cool, or you just get caught up in that glorious awe and wonder for what's possible in life. Then you look around or try and share it, and people can't find that emotion. or find that wonder, or they only see that bad grossness. Am I making sense here?
Yeah.
Okay. You gave me a look like, what was that?
Oh no, I'm sorry.
And
It's the cat.
okay.
She looks so cute. Sorry.
No, it's all good. And there's yeah, this like sense of sadness that you can't share that feeling with someone then. Like when you're recounting it to someone later, or even if you are walking with someone and if they can't see that, like take that moment to appreciate what that little detail is, or that little funniness. Um, yeah, I'm getting a little disconnected and rambly here, but I guess, yeah, I guess it's that idea of trying to share your emotions with somebody and them not being able to, like able to receive what you're feeling.
Yeah, I think that also can go hand in hand with self-awareness
Oh,
in a way. Like
I
I
haven't
feel
thought
like
of this. So,
people who understand what you're talking about,
hmm,
um because they've felt it before too, and I think you have to have a level of self-awareness to notice these things and feel these things.
that's interesting. I like that.
At least that's what I've always thought about when I feel that way.
Hmm.
I'm like, I own, and then knowing that there's people out there that I can like vividly see in my head that have just no self awareness, so they just don't care about anybody because they just don't think about it. Not 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 always like self absorbed, just clueless.
Yeah.
Those kind of people just don't empathize.
Yeah.
They don't empathize. Yeah.
Yeah. That's interesting. Which, yeah, as I think back to just my own awareness, like also being unaware of other people's inabilities to feel through their life. I think many of us are able to think our way through our life,
Mhm.
see our like visualize our way through our life. Well, I don't know, maybe not even that, but so many people can like think and see what's around them, but to feel it,
There's like tangible and intangible. It's like dreamers and realists. I don't know,
yeah,
kind of idea.
yeah. And so the thing I can't understand is like, was was the shift in my mind, would it have been like my own ability to um I guess see that and that inability in other people, or did I learn some new insight about myself? Like, did my mind always work this way? Was I always a little more um sensitive to other
Well,
people's emotions and feelings, or did
uh,
I just become aware of how insensitive others can be?
that's a great question, and all the answers are right.
Yeah.
Um, so, oh shit, what was I thinking? Because you see people change too, especially when they've had a traumatic experience. So that's like a way of learning, but then I think when another way you were saying is, has it always been there
Yeah.
and you've just tapped into it? I think that can um be true too, and hidden because of different uses, like that numbing, things that you were numbing yourself with before. um or for me, like I had chosen to kind of like give that up when I had bad experience in high school, and then having to relearn it kind of later on in life. It's hard.
Learning how to tap into it.
Yeah. Cause like before, I used to write things down about exactly what you're saying. It just
Mhm.
feeling, and I think I shared with you one of those letters or whatever, feeling other people
Yeah.
how they feel. Um, but like when I had that experience in high school, I was like, I didn't want to feel anymore. So
Yeah.
I found ways to stifle that, numb it. And then, coming back to that as an adult who's finally like fully developed brain and trying to get back to who I am as a person, but having spent so many years, drinking or smoking or just being miserable and stressed, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's interesting how I have a way of seeing a lot of that within my, like, the past 10 years of my own life. The same behavior of not feeling, um, yeah, I guess like fully myself,
Yeah.
you know, or unable to fully express myself. And this pairs nicely with another um, thought that's been going on in the past couple of years is how, um, like, breaking down emotion and thinking it's energy in motion. Like, emotion is a kind of energy, right? And we like use that energy or lose it. I don't know exactly how it works, but I do know there's sort of a positive and negative kind of charge
Mhm.
to these different feelings. Now, whether it's actually negative or just, I don't know, the
Acceptance.
loss of a certain amount of positive, you know what I mean? Like when it's 20 degrees out and then it drops to 14, suddenly it feels really cold.
Mhm.
I don't know if it's the same way with your emotion where you have like this really awesome positive one and then just like a sort of meh one. And maybe that drop and change is what makes you feel weird. Like, anyway, sorry, it's a tangent. My
Yeah.
point is not about how it physically works, but there's um a thought that's been, I guess, that capturing my imagination and attention. And it's this idea that, like, if we stifle emotions, if we if we don't allow things to come out and be expressed, then it stays in the body.
Mhm.
And now on sort of a spiritual medicine side, there's people who claim that's where disease and things come from.
Oh,
And
sorry.
yeah,
I just had a thought. I don't wanna
um,
take you off yours, though.
no, it's all good because, so if that's true, and if you accept that and feel that, then it can't help but make me want to draw a conclusion that by spending so much of my time, uh, stifling emotion, not dealing with it or not being aware of it, or only allowing those, more negative and angry emotions to exist. Like I think of how little I really let myself feel like abundant joy and gratitude for everything. The closest I would get, I say would be awe, to just sort of be awe-strucken by something, but that is not feeling it, right? That's
Mhm.
not having love and gratitude for wherever you are and what you're doing. Like that's a whole different kind of, it's not even close. And
Mhm.
yeah, and then you can't help but wonder, is that part of why I got sick? And not necessarily to dwell on does that cause the cancer, but I think having that cancer experienced is what forced me to go down this line of thinking. It's what forced me to examine the life I had lived so far and draw conclusions about what has been joyful and uplifting or gets me close to those feelings and what has done the opposite. Okay, that's kind of where that thought ends. So if you still got yours.
No. I was just thinking, exactly what you were just explaining is the movie we just watched last night.
The
You know, that chick who was just like so overwhelmed with anxiety and stress. And the movie was called Appendage.
right. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
And she's just like thinking about nothing about like only about the negatives and all like it's just bad. And the way it manifests in the movie is literally this physical thing that uh, like comes out of her stomach
Yeah.
and then basically wants to take over life. And then realizing like the moral of the story is to what I took from it was like because she couldn't kill the thing, so they have to live um together,
Yeah.
and she has to keep herself in check, like stop the stress or it could get stronger. Anyways, she basically has to baby it, like take care of yourself is the point.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. That's
That's
a great take.
that's what I understood from it. What did you get? Because like what happened at the end, she pricked her finger and she felt herself getting really angry and something, and then she's like, "Oh, I gotta go check on my appendage
Yeah.
and make sure it's happy because I'm feeling really bad right now."
Interesting.
And then we turn it all around.
Yeah.
It's just,
It made me think that, oh man, I don't know exactly how to relate this into such an eloquent statement, like you'd said, but my reaction toward the end there was along the same lines, but I was thinking more how, like, every time she has a minor setback or makes a minor mistake, she's got to like run away and coddle herself.
oh
Like,
yeah, no, that's
you
not.
won't really have the strength to tolerate adversity or something if you
Yeah, no.
like have this thing.
Because do you remember her interaction with the appendage when she saved her boyfriend or whatever? She ended up like kissing it and saying basically that I'm gonna take care of you.
Yeah. I took that as accepting it.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, acceptance and like future nurturing.
Yeah. I guess I didn't see that ending part coming, like where she'd have to coddle it like a baby.
Sorry
But I don't know,
for
maybe the thing's living like
giving that away.
it just made me think because it was fully grown then. And I'm like, maybe she is killing it. And it's like Benjamin Button dying.
But no, because it doesn't go away. She has it forever.
Hmm.
It just got so bad in her that it manifested itself as a physical
Yeah.
entity.
Yeah. I guess I saw the whole thing as a warning to like not let that thing ever manifest. Like,
Pretty much,
yeah.
yeah. Because that fucking left me so anxious when we went to bed.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking about having to drive in the winter this year. That added on to the anxiety.
That'll do it.
But let's keep
That'll
talking
do it.
about what you were sharing. Do you have any?
Yeah. Well, we're kind of towards the end of it, but I guess overall, it feels like having that kind of an experience, and also I think the experience I chose within it of getting more into meditations and mindfulness and really like checking in with my body attentively.
Mhm.
Something about getting into that practice and continuing that forward. I don't know, like throughout the whole experience, it just feels like your whole worldview completely changes. Your understanding of life, how the world works or like doesn't in so many ways. Um yeah, I guess it's an extreme ride of emotions in all directions. And I don't think that's something anyone prepares you for
No.
like going into that, or even I don't know, the few people I'd talked with who had also had cancer experiences, like before I was starting my chemo, it's like that kind of post treatment talk. Either like I don't remember it or it didn't come up,
Mm-hmm.
because I remember it all just like the story always just sort of ends at like, yeah, and then like went back to life and I just keep making healthy choices.
But that's not true.
Well, not my experience by far. Like, generally making healthy choices, but also feeling like it's a real struggle to give up those unhealthy choices. Like I went back to wanting to drink and have a good time at the same level before, but feeling worse about it, not only because I'm getting older and been doing that for so long, but then adding this layer of guilt on top of that, where it's like, you went through all that treatment and you had all that stuff. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, you have this
Mm-hmm.
whole other layer like that to sort of like that goes with every, I don't know, perceived mistake that you make.
Yeah.
And it's an interesting experience. But you can also kind of harness it to feel like a badass. I don't know. I remember one day I was feeling really guilty about having a cigarette, but then I was standing out there. I'm like, why can't you just be like, yeah, cancer, and now I'm having a smoke and I'm going to be fine? Like, why does that have to blow up in your head? It doesn't. It can also be badass, and not to be like cocky, but
Yeah, yeah.
as a way to just diffuse that and
Yeah.
say, hey, like you're doing better every day.
Yeah. But I think
Don't beat yourself
it
up, I
comes
guess.
back to that level of self-awareness and leveling up within yourself too, is being able to have that thought, but then being able to follow up immediately with the uh um you said, to diffuse that bad thought. I don't want to say a positive thought, but it just replaces that thought with something that is neutral, even just to wipe out that bad thought.
Yeah. It's like a way of accepting it, but with, I don't know, an attitude of confidence. You know,
Keeps you
like it's not
from
giving myself
having
permission.
anxiety.
Yeah, well, it's not giving myself permission to continue that
Yeah.
behavior. It's just saying, hey, you're a badass. You got this right now, but like, make better choices going forward.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. But I guess the heaviness of the lows on it, I guess. Like when when you look out and you just see the things that you find appalling or sad about the way we've set up a world. Um, I don't know, that can just be really intense, and I never expected that. I think I expected the whole joy, joy, joy thing that everyone talks about, where you're like waking up every day just, I'm so glad I'm still here, And so then you're waking up and you're like, wait, why are there just still days when it's not that? Like, why are there things that can still just flick that switch? And suddenly you're like, this cheeseburger has made me depressed.
Because we're only human.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting. So, like I said, again, I don't know if it's something that I've had and ignored or just suddenly observed or whatever. I'm not claiming any of that, but yeah. Or it could be just part of the times of the world. Like it was a wacky ass time to be going through that experience anyway. So
Yeah.
maybe we were all feeling that and it was just part of it. But
I don't know.
yeah, I don't know either. Anyways, I think that's about the end of my thoughts on it.
Okay.
I hope people enjoyed it.
I hope we made sense. I feel like there were sometimes I was getting a little distracted by the cats
Yep.
at times.
And that's where we'll call it. All right. Thanks everybody for listening.
Wait,
What?
we've been doing Pilates. Just wanted to share. Just so you know, it's so hard.
Yes.
But I haven't actually felt any burn afterwards, just during.
That's good.
So I'm wondering if I'm working hard enough.
I think you're working just the right amount.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be hurting after
Well, you know, when you
a
work
positive
out,
workout.
like a real workout,
Yeah, but I
and
think
then
that's working out too
too
much.
much.
Yeah. You
Okay.
shouldn't really hurt that much.
I just hope that it makes a difference because it's fucking hard.
I think it is. Ooh, yeah. That brought me up another thought.
Okay.
Um, so within the like mind work that I would be doing, I guess like mind and meditation work during treatments, I was learning about like where you put your focus in your body, and if you can draw focus and intention there, it's healing or helps you heal.
Yeah.
Anyhow,
It's kind of like with yoga when you, breathe into that area.
yeah, yeah. And I was thinking how the Pilates has felt the same to me as I've been joining you. Like I'm thinking about muscles in my hip that I have never really thought about.
I know, me
And
too.
suddenly they're front of mind and I can feel myself sending focus there. And when they hurt, I'm like, oh, it's because like I've ignored you for so long.
Yeah.
Like you need attention. You need me to focus here. You need me to work you.
Mm-hmm. Totally. I know. I was thinking about that too because my right side hurts so much.
Yeah. For me, it's been my left. That's been the difficult one to like
Oh,
hold and like make good circles with.
so
Like,
we are
yeah.
one person.
Want to swap legs?
Swap legs. No.
Yeah, you got a good left. I'll give you a good right.
Sew ourselves together and then we can be one person. How close can you get?
Oh my God, that sounds like a good horror movie.
We should just show up to Halloween party like that. Oh, sorry, I forgot what the theme was.
We're like a Frankenstein couple.
We're the
Frankenstein's
Siamese
Siamese lovers.
lovers. I know, I was trying to think about that too. Anyways, okay. That's not.
That's a weird thought for you to imagine.
Yeah.
There. That's
Okay.
a good ender. Yeah, think on that one, guys.
Happy Halloween. Wait. It'll
Wait.
be Thanksgiving.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy gobble gobble.
Yeah. Imagine us sew together as your turkey.
Bye.
All right, bye everyone.